But if the school was telling the truth, then the question became even more terrifying. Who was the boy that had been coming to my house every holiday? There was never any sign of sickness, never any sign of the trouble. To me, everything seemed normal. But the day I visited his school, something happened that would change my life forever. When I arrived at the school, the environment looked peaceful. Students were walking around the compound. Hello, everyone. Students were walking around the compound. Teachers were busy with their work. Nothing seemed strange. I walked confidently into the principal's office. Good afternoon, Ma. I'm Obadiah Okonkwo's mother. I came to check on his progress. At first, I thought she didn't hear me clearly. But then she removed her glasses and asked slowly, Madam, what did you say your son's name is? Obina Okonkwo. The room suddenly became very quiet. The principal's face slowly changed. The principal leaned back in her chair and sighed deeply. Then she said something that made my heart stop. Madam, I'm very sorry. But according to our records, Obadiah has not been a student here for 2 years. What do you mean? I mean that Obina's situation is more complicated than it appears. I frowned. What do you mean? The principal hesitated before speaking again. Madam, your son Obadiah died 2 years ago. For a moment, I thought I heard her wrong, so I laughed nervously. My son died? That's impossible. My son comes home every holiday. He was at my house just December. I walked outside the office immediately. My hands were shaking as I picked up my phone. I dialed Obina's number. My heart was beating so loudly I could hear it in my ears. Then suddenly, you answer.
Mommy?
The moment I heard his voice, I felt relief. Obina, I just went to your school and they are saying you died 2 years ago. There was silence on the line. Then he spoke again, but this time his voice sounded strange, almost cold.
Mommy, you shouldn't have gone there.
The call ended. I tried calling him again, but this time the phone rang and rang. Then suddenly, my call stopped going through. It was as if my son had disappeared. That was the moment fear truly entered my heart. Because if my son was alive, why would he suddenly cut the call and block me? But if the school was telling the truth, then the question became even more terrifying. Who was the boy that had been coming to my house every holiday?
So tell me, if you were in my position, what would you do? Would you believe the school or believe your own son's voice? Because what the teachers told me next was even more shocking than hearing that my son was dead. Comment your answer below and follow for episode 2.